Hey everybody, this is Ted Check, recovering reporter. Here we have a headline from September 20th on the Gateway Pundit. Bombshell transcripts reveal Trump, in fact, ordered National Guard for January 6th. General Milley confirmed, I think he did confuse, confirms Trump urges top Pentagon officials to deploy Guard or soldiers, active duty soldiers. But apparently there was actually some confusion there. Yeah, so and like I said, if you as I said before, if you don't like the Gateway Pundit, if you think it's too conservative, if it's not to your liking, you can find this elsewhere. It's just going to be hard to find because the mainstream media, as far as I can tell, has not reported this. And well, isn't that convenient? Because it goes against their narrative that Trump caused the whole thing and did nothing to mitigate it. A groundbreaking report from Steve Baker has unveiled crucial transcripts proving that President Donald Trump did indeed request National Guard deployment to ensure a peaceful protest on January 6, 2021. These newly surfaced transcripts, which were previously concealed, reveal the truth that many in the mainstream media have ignored. According to the documents, General Mark Milley, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, confirmed that President Trump expressed concern about the potential for unrest and proactively ordered the necessary precautions. So let's go down here a little bit further. They have the quotes. So Mark Milley said on January 3rd, the president says, hey, look at this. There's going to be a large amount of protesters here on the 6th. Make sure that you have sufficient National Guard or soldiers to make sure it's a safe event. And he also said, hey, I don't care if you use Guard or soldiers, active duty soldiers, do whatever you have to do. Just make sure it's safe. So he had the premonition. He could see on the horizon that something terrible, something traumatic might happen. But nobody apparently listened to him. Now, Christopher Miller, acting Secretary of Defense, the president commented that they were going to need 10,000 troops the following day. I interpreted it as a bit of presidential banter, or President Trump banter, that you are all familiar with, and in no way, shape, or form did I interpret it as an order or direction. Sounds like a misinterpretation. I mean, the way that the media splits hairs is they say, well, he didn't sign an order. Well, sounds like a verbal order. I don't know much about orders, but because I don't like to take them. But no, maybe a written order is stronger than a verbal order. But I mean, if you have a verbal order coming from the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief, it sounds like you'd better take that seriously. But as we know, apparently they did not. And there was a lot of tragedy that occurred that day, but it sounds like it could have been prevented. So this is pretty significant, I would say. I would go so far as to call it a bombshell. I would call it a bombshell, except that I think I said before, it contradicts the narrative that the mainstream media has constructed, has foisted upon everyone since January 6th, and that is that the president pretty much was the architect of the whole thing and then did nothing to stop it. This flies in the face of that, but like I said, I've done a search and I can't find anything from the mainstream media reporting on this. This should be headline, should be above the fold. If you're going to report one thing and then you find other information that contradicts that, you should give that equal weight and equal time. That's true journalism. What is being practiced today is not true journalism. I mean, also we have, and here's something that I doubt that many in the media reported, was Nancy Pelosi taking responsibility for what happened.
We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had sufficient resources.
No, there's not a question of how they have been. They don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more. We have responsibility.
And this was actually a clip from a documentary that was produced by her own daughter, by Nancy Pelosi's daughter. Very interesting stuff. So let this be a jumping off point for you to do your own research. But this is just another, especially this report from Gateway Pundit. You can search around. If you find it elsewhere in the mainstream media, please let me know. You know, if the AP has reported this, if CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, if anybody in those big mainstream media outlets has reported this, I'd like to know. You know, I challenge you to show me where it is. I'd honestly like to see it. I'd be, you know, happily surprised if they did report it. But I haven't found anything like that. It's only in markets like this, you know, that this is obviously a right-leaning website. It's only in places like this that I found this. This should be huge, huge news. But the mainstream media doesn't want, and prove me wrong on this one. The mainstream media has an agenda. They have a narrative. They don't want Donald Trump to be president. And they're going to do everything they can to bury this because they don't want to see him in office again. Prove me wrong.